Hi, this is Christa at The Secret Yarnery. Today we are making the Pin Curl Granny Square for the Secret Stitches Cal 2021. This is block number 2. We'll be joining up 12 different blocks at the end of the year to make a wonderful textured stitch sampler blanket. This is block number 2, which goes beside block number 1. So we're just building the top row of our blanket. I'll put a link to the first block in the description box down below, as well as the Secret Stitches Cal 2021, the entire playlist. You can also turn this into a blanket if you'd like, separate tutorial for that. And at the end of the year, you'll also be picking whichever border you like. So keep up on the borders we're doing so you know which is your favorite for the end of the year. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below and the notification bell beside that so you don't miss out on any awesome tutorials just like this. What you're going to need for this square is the same yarn you were using for the Cal. It can be any yarn at all. I'm using a 4-weight, a worsted weight yarn. This is Savor from Ice Yarns. The color is Camel, and I'll be putting a link to this in the description box down below as well. If you'd like to follow along with a written pattern, it is available over on my website, secretyarnery.com. And the name of this pattern is Pin Curl Granny Baby Blanket. So grab your hook that goes along with whatever yarn you're using. I'll be using a 6mm crochet hook, or letter J. And you'll also need a darning needle and a pair of scissors. So let's get started. To make the pintail granny square, start by making a slip knot, leaving a long enough tail to sew in with a needle later. Shrink it down and put it onto your hook. Chain 49. 1, 2, 3. There is my chain 49. It's multiples of 7 for this pattern, plus 2 stitches. So your multiple of 7, which is 49, and 2. 1, 2. Now working into the 5th chain from your hook, so we're going to count 5 chains back. So I'm just going to look at these bottom loops. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Into the 5th chain going back right here, we're going to make 2 double crochets. So wrap your yarn and into the 5th chain, 2 double crochets into the same chain. 1 and 2. Our chain counts as our first stitch, counts as a treble crochet. Chain 2, 1, 2. Skip 3 chains. So we've worked into this chain here, this bottom loop. So we're going to skip 3. So skip 1, 2, 3. We're going to work into the 4th chain, or the 4th bottom loop. So don't wrap your yarn, we're just going to make 1 single crochet. So push your hook straight in to that 4th chain and make 1 single crochet. Chain 2, 1, 2. Skip 2 chains. So we worked into this one here where our stitches started from, where our single crochet is. We're going to skip 2 and work into the 3rd, into that 3rd bottom loop. So wrap your yarn twice and into the 3rd chain. 1 treble crochet. There's a treble and 2 doubles, all into the same chain. So we're doing our little block, our little curler. Just like that. Chain 2, skip 3. So looking at your chain, you want those nice little V's facing up. We're skipping this first chain that we worked into, and there's 1, 2, 3. We're going to work into the 4th. Right there. So into the 4th chain, 1 single crochet. Chain 2, 1, 2. Now skip 2 chains. So we worked into here, skip 1, 2, and now we're going to work into the 3rd, making 1 treble crochet. So wrap your yarn twice into the 3rd chain, 1 treble crochet, and 2 double crochets into the same stitch, into the same chain. just like that, chain 2, 1, 2. Now after we make our actual stitches, our double crochets, we're going to skip more. So this is when we skip 3 and we work into the 4th. So 1, 2, 3, 4, into the 4th chain, 1 single crochet. After our short stitch, we make a short jump. So now we're just going to skip 2 chains and work into the 3rd. So wrap your yarn twice into the 3rd chain, 1 treble crochet, and 2 double crochets. There is 1 and 2. Chain 2, 1, 2. Now a tall stitch is a tall jump. So we're going to skip 3 stitches and work into the 4th. So no wrapping your yarn, we're just going to make 1 single crochet. Short stitch, short jump, so we're only going to skip 2. So chain 2, 1, 2, wrap your yarn twice into the 3rd chain, 1 treble crochet, and 2 double crochets all into the same chain. There's 1 and 2. Chain 2, tall stitch, tall jump, so skip 3 and 1 single crochet into the 4th. Chain 2, short stitch, short jump, wrap your yarn twice into the 3rd chain, 1 treble crochet, and 2 double crochets all into the same stitch. Chain 2, tall stitch, tall jump, so we're going to skip 3 and into the 4th, 1 single crochet. Chain 2, short stitch, short jump into the 3rd chain, 1 treble crochet, and 2 double crochets all into the same stitch or the same chain. Chain 2, tall stitch, tall jump. So we're going to skip 3 and into the 4th, which is our very last chain, 1 single crochet. So just into that very last chain, you want to get 2 strands on the top of your hook, like that, 1 single crochet. And that finishes our row. Now this is going to be our repeat. We're always going to do the same row over and over, which is the beauty of this pattern. So to start the repeat, chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and turn your work. Into that very same stitch, this single crochet right at the end, we're going to do 2 double crochets. So wrap your yarn and 2 double crochets into that same stitch. 1 and 2. Our chain 4 counts as our first treble crochet. Chain 2, single crochet into this next space. We're skipping over all of these stitches here. 1 single crochet into the space. Chain 2, 1, 2. And now into that stitch, wrap your yarn twice. We're going to do 1 treble crochet and 2 double crochets all into the same stitch. So our first double crochet and our second double crochet. Chain 2, 1, 2. Skip over all these stitches into the next space, 1 single crochet. Chain 2, 1, 2. Into our stitch, our little single crochet, we're going to make a treble crochet and 2 doubles into that stitch. So wrap your yarn twice and 1 treble crochet, and wrap your yarn and do 2 double crochets. 1, 2, all into the same stitch. Chain 2, jump over the stitches into the next space, 1 single crochet. Chain 2, into the stitch, into that little single crochet down at the bottom, wrap your yarn twice, 1 treble crochet, and 2 double crochets, all into the same stitch. There's 1 and 2. Chain 2, 1, 2. Skip over these stitches into the next space, 1 single crochet. Chain 2, and into that stitch, wrap your yarn twice, 1 treble crochet and 2 double crochets. So there's our treble crochet and 2 double crochets. 1, 2. Chain 2. It's always a chain 2, so great. Into the next space, so jumping over these stitches, 1 single crochet, chain 2, wrap your yarn twice, 1 treble crochet and 2 double crochets into that little stitch. So there's our treble, our first double, and our second double. Chain 2, 1, 2. Jump over your stitches into the next space, 1 single crochet. Chain 2. Wrap your yarn twice into the little stitch, 1 treble crochet and 2 double crochets. So there's our treble. Here is our first double. Here is our second double. Chain 2. At the end of your row, we're just going to make a single crochet into that space. So just put your hook in and make 1 single crochet. So we do the same thing again, chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn your work, 2 double crochets into the very same stitch. 1 and 2, chain 2, 1 and 2, skip over your stitch. Now you'll see when you're looking along your work, you'll see the little hills. So those are our chain spaces where we're going to be putting our single crochet. So we're going to single crochet into the top of the hill, and into the stitch we're going to make our treble and 2 doubles. There's a chain 2 between everything, and we're going to keep going like this for the whole square. I've already done my chain 2, so into the top of this hill, 1 single crochet, chain 2, and into the stitch, 1 treble crochet and 2 doubles. Here's our treble crochet and 2 double crochets into the same stitch, 1 and 2. Chain 2, into the top of the next hill, into that space, 1 single crochet. Chain 2, and into the stitch, 1 treble crochet and 2 double crochets. So you're going to keep going like this all the way along your row, and I'll meet you at the end of this row. At the end of your row, just work into that space, making your last single crochet, and that is the end of the row. When you have finished 24 rows, to count your rows, we're going to count these blocks, so 1 at the bottom and 1 on the side. So we're kind of going to zigzag our way up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. We just want it to be approximately the same height. After you've finished your 24th row, we're just going to finish our block with the same kind of chain that we started with. So both sides, top and bottom, are the same. So chain 1 and turn your work. 1 single crochet into the first single crochet. To climb up the hill, we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Single crochet into the top of that hill, into that space, and chain 2 to come down. 1, 2. Single crochet into the stitch, chain 3 to climb back up, 1, 2, 3. Single crochet into that space at the top of the hill, chain 2 to come down, single crochet into the bottom of the hill. Chain 3 to climb back up, single crochet into the top, into that space, and 2 single crochet to come down. 1, 2. Single crochet into that valley, and chain 3 to climb back up your hill. 1, 2, 3. So we're going to keep going like this all the way along our block, just to get to the end. At the end of our row, that is a hill, even though it doesn't look like it. So we're going to do a chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and single crochet into that space. Chain 1 to secure your yarn. Cut your yarn. Pull your hook up and your yarn through, and snug that down to secure. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and love your square as much as I do. I'd love to see how yours turned out. You can find me over on Instagram or Facebook or Pinterest. So thanks so much for hooking along. We'll see you in the next video, and stay hooked.